I'm terribly sorry, but I'm running late. I was looking at 1 o'clock on my top of my computer, and it is out compared to the other clock. So here I am patiently waiting for 10 o'clock, and I've already gone past it. So I am really, really sorry. I am doing this a little bit earlier than I normally do. Normally my lives are at 1 o'clock, but today I have an appointment. So I've sort of been thrown off kilter a little bit today because it was a last minute decision that I'll do this early because I was supposed to have a card class this morning, which was cancelled. But anyway, I'm here. So I hope you are. I hope you can jump on and say hello. If you do miss my live here, of course, you've got the replay on both YouTube and Facebook. So today I'm going to have a play with some new products. So let me just turn my camera down. Please jump on and say hello. Let me know where you're from. It's always great having new people on here. So let me just adjust this. Okay. So what am I got here in front of me today? Well, I have got the new product of the month for April for 2026. I've already die cut this out with a piece of basic white. And somewhere here I have got the, as I said, I'm a little bit all over the place. Where is it? It is amongst this. Oh, look, it's sitting right over here, right in front of me. Here is the die for this. So it's quite a large die. It's a complete card front. This piece of cardstock here is 10.5 by 14.9. So it does die cut quite a bit. You've got a beautiful, like a broderie anglaise type of pattern on there, and there are little pieces here that also lift up. So be very aware that when you cut this down to size, which is what I'm going to be doing later on, you may have little bits that pop out. Like, for example, this corner up here, it is one of the petals of the flowers, and it has completely popped out. So you will get a little bit of a discrepancy when it comes to cutting. You're just going to have a little bit that's going to, you're not going to get perfectly straight lines, basically. So, but I think it is beautiful. Remember, spend $125 and you can purchase this for $9 for this month. So we're going to have a play with that. I haven't, as I said, I haven't cut anything down. All I've done is just cut it out. I do recommend that you have a take your pick tool with the brush and the foam mat. Do you think I could find my foam mat? No, I couldn't. It would have made it so much easier getting all those little holes out because I am pedantic and I do like to have no holes. So I sat here for the last half hour or so and just poking them out like such and scratching them off the back. So this is where your take a pick tool is going to be your friend, and the foam mat that comes with that brush end. Now remember, this brush end is an extra that you can purchase to go with your take a pick tool. So it's an add-on to your take a pick tool. Anyway, so let's get started. I've drawn up a little bit of an idea of the card I want to make, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to go. I'm taking it off an idea that's in the new catalogue that's going to be coming out in May, so I can't show you that catalogue. It is I would say a 10 by 8 scrapbook page, because within the new catalogue we're going to be getting some 10 by 8 sleeves. So whereas before they were packaged one in a pack of Project Life or Pocket Pages, whatever you'd like to call them, now we're going to get a pack of them, just that size page, which is going to be fantastic for those of us that like doing those smaller 8 by 10 albums. So this is taken from an idea for a scrapbook page, but I'm going to make it into a card page. What I also have here in front of me, besides that, is I have got the Heirloom Boutique dies and the Heirloom Boutique stamps. Now, this is a product that they've put together that you can use on scrapbook pages, basically. And it's a bundle that you can purchase also in that May catalogue. And I just thought this is quite a fun one because I like doing scrapbooking and I'm trying to get back into doing a lot more. But I thought today I'm going to play with these dies, maybe not so much with the stamps, but we'll see how we go. But I'm going to be using these dies. Now, I also have here in front of me, let me show you these first. These are the new in colours, if you haven't seen them already. So, hello, Lorraine, how are you? Thanks for jumping on all the way from Canada. Great. So, we have the Hydrangea Hues cardstock. We have, I was hoping to turn them around, but I haven't labelled all my stamp pads as yet. We have the Barely Blush cardstock, the Crisp Cantaloupe. We have, this is my favourite green, to be honest. I love it. Let me just have a look. We've got the Peaceful Pines, and the other one is the Golden Glow. So we also have the stamp sets. So you've got your Barely Blush, your Golden Glow, and as you can see, I've still got plastic on these, Hydrangea Hues, Peaceful Pines, and the Crisp Cantaloupe. Turn that up the right way. So they're the ink pads that go with our cardstock. And I love these new magnetic cases. So much easier to open. This is the only one I've actually put the label on, and I've put labels are on the back here, and I've put one on this here, but you can't really read that very well, so I may end up making a new label to go on there, which will be just printed in black. And then I've popped a label because you get two of the Barely Blush. I've popped one on the inside here and one in a different language on the other side, just so then I can see what lids go if they do get mixed up on the table when you have a class. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, so they're the stamp pads that go with it. Now, I also have purchased a pack of the 12 by 12 cardstock, but it's not, it's actually a pack of 12 by 12, and it comes with White Willow, which is the scrapbooking cardstock that go with this particular suite, that you can purchase separately. So it was just a way I could get hold of all the 12 by 12 cardstock in each of the new ink colours without having to buy a full packet to start with. So I've got those as well, and we'll be using those for our die cutting of our flowers. And I also have got the in colours. Now, for the last few years, have done these in a 6 by 6. This time they're doing it in a 12 by 12. And let me just see if I can find the packaging here. Got everything thrown around me at the moment, sorry. This is the 2026 to 2028 in colours in the painted patterns. So there's two of each colour. I've just got the Hydrangea Hues out to show you. So you have two in this particular stripe here. Hello, Katrina, how are you? Thank you for joining us. You've got two in the little spot, and we've flipped this one over. We've got that lovely stripe, and we've got a huge big spot there. I'm looking at using maybe this one here in my card today. So let's get started. Now, as I said, I've got a rough sketch that I'm wanting to work from, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out. I tend to like to plan things. So today is going to be very much, let's see how we go. And let's start creating. So what I've got is a piece of basic white cardstock here. I've cut it at 10.5 by 29.9 and scored it a 14.9. Of course, this is the metric. So if you're wanting the imperial, you'd be looking at 4.25 by 5.5. So that's 4.25 by 11 and score it at 5.5. I've already pre-cut this, but I will be cutting this down. So my next thing is I'm going to be grabbing my A4 cardstock here. Now I'm contemplating whether I'm going to do this, because I love my layers. Let's just put that out of the road for the moment, whether I'm going to be doing a layer in this, or do I do a layer in that one? And I think I'm actually going to do it in this. I do like this. And this is going to be layered over the top. So I don't think it's going to be too much. So let's cut this down. As I said, I'm sort of a little bit all over the place, but anyway. Hello, Nicole. How are you? Thanks for joining. I hope you all are having a lovely day. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 centimeters, 10 centimeters, which it would be in the Imperial 4 inches. So I'm going to cut that down to 10. And I'm going to cut this down to 14.4. And that's just giving a half centimetre, or be half centimetre, 2.5 down all around. Sorry, I'm having to think a bit more today. In the Imperial, that would be 1/4 inch. So that's going to be my layer, which I'm going to pop on to there. Okay, so that's going to be that layer. This layer here, I'm thinking of doing, I want basic white, but I want this here to be, if that's 10 centimeters, I want that one to be, if I go 8, I'm going to go 7. I'm going to make it 3 centimeters smaller and see how we go. So if we go 3 centimeters smaller that way, which is going to give me 7, and then I'm going to take 3 centimeters off the 14.4, so that's going to be, let me just cut this down to 14.4 to start with, and I'm going to show you what I do sometimes here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cut this down to my 14.4, but I want to take 3 centimeters off that. So I'm going to use the fact that we've got centimeters off this side here and take that to 3 centimeters on the opposite side. And that's giving me 3 centimeters off. So what I've basically done, if I've taken my mat size and I've taken 3 centimeters off my width, because that's 10 centimeters, this is straight off, 3 centimeters off, I'm going to take 7 centimeters. I want to take 3 centimeters off my length, which is 14.4. My brain's not working today, so instead of trying to work backwards, if I cut my strip here to 14.4, the same depth, then all I have to do is take 3 centimeters off the opposite side. So I hope you've understood that. I will blog this over the weekend, and I will try to put all my measurements up on that. Now let's have a look. I want that to go in the center there. And we might do a little bit of stamping on that, because as I said, this idea is taken by a picture in the catalogue, which I can't show you. So you may recognise it when you see it, when we've completed. So we'll see how we go. So that's going to go there. And then this piece here, now like a broderie anglaise type piece, I am wanting to go. Now, the original picture had a photo in the centre, but we're not going to have a photo. But I'm thinking of popping this piece. Do I take it going across underneath? So that will sit on top. Let's stamp this and then decide. Okay, so we'll get rid of our trimmer for the moment. And we're going to bring in this piece to stamp, and I'm going to stamp in the Golden Glow. Now, I used to love wild wheat, because wild wheat was really great as a substitute for gold, because I'm not a really shiny person. I don't wear a lot of gold and silver jewellery or anything like that. I do like a little bit of it every now and then, but I'm not real big on it. So as the wild wheat has gone, I'm hoping that our Golden Glow here is going to work out to be a nice substitute. So what I'm going to use is this stamp here. And we're just going to stamp this a couple of times. Onto this piece. Pop that in there so I don't lose it. Should have seen me the other day. I thought I had lost dies and stamps everywhere. That one's going to be too big. Perfect. I was sending myself crazy. So trying not to lose things. I've still got one die I've got to find. Has to be somewhere. Okay. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it, Katrina? So I'm hoping that this particular stamp is going to work really well, or this ink pad, I should say, not stamp, will work really well as a substitute for wild wheat. But we'll see. It's looking promising, put it that way. So I've just seasoned that up a little bit and just going to stamp this, just stamping off a little bit. Don't need to put too much pressure on that. Actually, I've missed a little bit there, but that's okay. I'm just going to pop a little bit up there and just a little bit down here. So we just want to create a little bit of a background. Not too busy. Let's just give this a bit of a wipe so I don't get ink over everything else. Sorry, I've just got a little bit of a husky voice today. I've still got this terrible cough that I've had since last year. They've got me on Ventolin and I tend to lose my voice with it. So there's our front. So we're going to pop this onto here. Let's have a look. I don't want to make it all too monotone. So I'm hoping that that's just going to give it a nice little break in colour. And then we want to put a strip of this behind it. And I probably want to make it maybe around about 5 centimetres. So having a quick look, which is around about 2 inches. Yeah, I think a 5 centimetre piece. I'm just going to grab my little trimmer here. And we want to cut this down to 10 centimetres. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off each side. As I said, you are going to lose. As you can see there, I've lost a little bit of the tips. But look, you can't worry about it. And I'm a sewer, and I can tell you, you have the same issues with broderie anglaise. That's why I keep calling this a broderie anglaise type of die. So that's going to go across there just to create a little bit of interest. And then we're going to put some flowers, but this also called for another piece in the middle. So let's just get another piece of, let's just have a little bit of a think, actually, because that's going to go in there. I want that up a little bit higher than lower. I like to work with my thirds rule. Let's adhere these pieces down because I know that this piece is definitely going to stay. Love the hydrangea hues. I'm a blue girl. Anything in blues, and I love it. So let's pop that onto the front there. Because we know that that's a definite. This is a maybe, and piece there and that one there. Okay, let's just keep moving forward. I'm just trying to think what I might have. Don't know whether there's anything in this. I'm sort of thinking ahead sentiment-wise. I'm thinking to what? Because I know I want to die cut some flowers. So whether I go back to a plain white, but I didn't want just a plain white square there, but I could put a plain white in the middle. I'm just wondering, is there anything in here? Don't know whether anything here is going to go, because these are really, really geared more for scrapbooking. No, nothing in that lot. Let's just have a look what else I've got here. Do I have anything lying around here? Because I haven't put a lot of stuff away yet from on stage, so you never know what I've got sitting here that could be used. This is also from on stage. Let's have a look, see what's in here. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's called mango. Good pickup. Okay, let's just have a look. Is there anything here? I'm looking for something that's going to be mainly in white that we can use as a sentiment. And that way would get me... Actually, I wonder, because... Okay, let's just... This is the... Let me have a look for the packaging. Where did I put it? This is the Sincerely Noted Mix and Match Ephemera Pack. And this will also be in the new mini catalogue. And that colour's not too bad, because that's sort of like... Let's just have a look with the Calypso Coral. We'll get the cardstock out and have a look with that. Sort of almost your Calypso Coral colouring. There's the 12 by 12. Because I was going to do some flowers in that sort of, in this. So let's keep going. But there's a good sentiment, which is going to take me back to needing a piece of basic white. Today you're really seeing how my brain thinks when I am working without actually having everything pre-planned, pre-cut. So I'm going to cut, we'll pop it over there, that needs to be cleaned. Another piece of basic white here. And I like to cut my basic white strips into quarters when I'm using them for bits and pieces, because then I can work with a smaller bit. Now, we cut this one at 7. So, and I'm going to cut this down to 14.4 in the length. That's just so then I know that I've already taken 3 centimetres off for the last one. 7, and I want to go maybe 5.5. And that means if I'm going to cut, we cut 3 off before, and I'm going to cut another 1.5 off. So I'm going to cut another 4.5 centimetres off. Let's see how this is going to work. Because I just want a hint of this from underneath. I don't want a huge amount. I probably could have even stamped off because I want that going to there like that. Okay, we're still working. We're still moving this along. Let's pop all that to one side and let's bring in, so I have got this particular colour and I want to use the lighter side, and that is the crisp cantaloupe, and I also want that one. This is for my die cutting, and I also want this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself some 10 centimetre strips. Actually, I might even make it a bit narrower than that because the mini cut and emboss will take about 3 inch. So I'm going to cut these to about 3 inches, which is 7.5 centimetre strips. So we need that colour. It's going to be for our leaves. Let's do this easy. 7.5 on this one. So I've got the two colours there, both the, oh God, I've got to learn these colours. Golden Glow and the Crisp Cantaloupe. Let's get rid of those. And we're going to just cut these just to make it easy to use. I'm going to cut these into a length of 6 inches. Again, it just works out well with putting through the cut and emboss machine. Whoop. I've got a bit of a storm, I think, maybe brewing up outside. My lights and everything just flickered, my computer flickered. So if by any chance it does go off, I am terribly sorry. But it looks like we've got a bit of at least a windy storm happening out there. Okay, so now I need all those dies. So let's just bring in these dies here. As I said, these are the Heirloom Boutique dies. In the Sweet collection, there is another set of beautiful stamps and dies. I've actually got those on order. I ordered these ones first. And I want this bigger one here. I want this little one. Those are my flower centres. We want the leaves. And maybe this one as well. These are great sizes if you're wanting to use them for your scrapbooking. Really nice, big and large, so I can't wait to play with those. But this is sort of like the add-on stamp set that you could purchase if you're more wanting to go with the scrapbooking kits and so forth, because it had bigger sentiments and bigger flowers than the cards. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to cut, now that's the lighter side, I want the darker side for the bigger flower. And at the moment I'm going to cut 2 of those, but I can only do 1 at a time. So let's just cut this one. Pop that out. So I want at least 2 of this one, and then I'm going to show you the flowers I'm popping out. Come on. Remember, you've just got to move your plates a little bit to get them through this mini cut and emboss for it to take. So that's that larger die there. I'm going to flip this over. Now, so I don't lose that die, I'm going to pop it into a box I've got over here. And I want the lighter side on the little ones. And again, I'm going to cut 2 of these. So we've cut the big one on the darker side and the little one on the lighter side. Might just cut an extra one in that. I am going to layer these flowers up a little bit. And then we'll have a look and see how that sentiment goes. We might have to, sort of looking at it here, and we might have to go for a different sentiment. Now, we want some leaves. I want some leaves in the darker. And I've got some of this little one here as well. Cut a few in the darker side and a few in the lighter side. So I'm just flipping my paper over to do the lighter side, and then I'll do that again. Always good to have a few more. So has anyone else been playing with any of the new product? If you're a demonstrator or a hobby demonstrator and have been getting some of this a little bit earlier. So I'm just going to cut another one on that side. Let's just flip that over and we'll get a couple more darker ones. And I do want another darker one. And I want another dark one in this as well. I just wanted to cut that first one out first and then see where I can fit this in. There we go. And now we need this golden glow, and let's cut some flower centers. Should only need 2, but I'm just going to cut another pair just in case. Come on, just grab. Thank you. So that's your plan for the weekend, a crafting weekend. That's good, Lorraine. I'm hoping to have a scrapbooking weekend. I actually want to get in. Now, I've just realised I've cut these on the lighter side. Probably wouldn't normally worry, but it has got... I'm just going to cut one set on the darker side. It's because it's got a little bit of an indentation into the cardstock that I really want to have it on the side that the shaping is nice, because you sort of get a little bit of a curve in that die cutting. Okay, let's pop all this away for now, and let's see how this is all going to go together. So this is what I'm not sure about, and I don't know whether there is one that's any better. Because these are all different colours that go with all different things. See, that one there could even, so grateful to have a friend like you. See, that one there could also be a possibility. But it's the same colouring. And I'm not quite sure where my other ones are, which are just plain. So let's just play with what we've got here, because otherwise what we could do, I don't know whether these sentiments on this is too big. They're very big, very long. Yeah, they won't fit into that. Let's just have a look what we've got else here we could use if need be. Some nice sentiments in that one. That'll be too big. That's too big. Not appropriate. I think that one, if there's going to be a sentiment, because there's that one there, to a marvellous person on their birthday. Some of these have got ones that you could fit in the inside as well as the outside. Could also use thank you so much for your friendship. But I don't mind that birthday one. Okay, well, let's play. We've got that one. Let me just take that off. So I've got it on a block. Marvellous birthday. Let's just see if we can find it. I think it's that one there. I do have a little bit of a foam pad here. I've got a scrap here. If I was going to do that again, I'd do it in the hydrangea hue, just to bring that in a little bit. Just going to have a little bit of a look and see what I think. Definitely like it. Definitely love the colour. That's going to go across there. And I was thinking of popping that onto there somewhere. So let's just layer that for the moment on there. Let's have a look. So these flowers. So you can see it's got some really nice detail in there. If I used the other side of this, the wrong side, it is slightly raised because this side here, the die is pushing the paper downwards, but this side here, it's risen and it's nice, not as nice. You can get a bone folder and just run over the back of it, and that will flatten that out. On little bits like the flower centers, it probably wouldn't matter so much, but I still feel it's not quite as nice as it is on this side here. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer those on top of each other and then pop a center in the middle. So we're going to finish up with a flower like that. So let me layer up a few of these. You don't have to layer these up, but as I said, I am going by an image from the catalogue, and they definitely laid them up. Could also, if you wanted to, add a little bit of ink around the edges, if you wanted to give it a bit more texture. You could shape them a bit more because, as I said, the other one was a picture, so you could get your bone folder and just give them a little bit of a shaping before you layer them. But because I'm actually making this into a card and it will probably go into an envelope, I don't necessarily want to shape my flowers. It's probably the only time I don't do something like that. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue there in the center. So I like, as I said before, I like to work in my third, so I want to move that up into my top third. You don't want to have anything coming down too low because it will tend then to look like it's falling off your page. You're better off having slightly less at the top and slightly more at the bottom. Now, in the imagery for the page, it had the flowers on one in that corner and one here. Now, because we are going from, we've gone down quite a bit in size. Okay, before the picture was looking at a 6 by 8, we're gone down to basically just a bit over 4 by 5, thereabouts, a bit bigger with the metric. So, and these are quite big, so we sort of want to leave a little bit of that gold coming through, but we want to put some of these flowers in here. So I'm quite liking the way this is going. So I think I'm going to actually stamp my sentiment, and I think I do prefer this one to that. If I pop that in the middle and that there, I think it's too close in colour. It's all sort of blending in together, but the colours aren't quite correct. So we're better off having a little bit of a contrast. So I am going to stamp, and I'll grab this foam mat for this, just for the fact that it does help you get a better stamped image. And we'll grab this hydrangea hues. Again, the same thing. I'm going to stamp slightly more towards the top than I am to the bottom. I just want to make sure this is all lined up, nice and straight. And we're going to pop that just there. So we'll let that dry for a little minute, and we'll adhere that directly onto there. So while that's drying, I'm going to glue this piece down. Just watching where you're putting your glue, because it does have holes all over the place, and in some ways probably even better off using something like a seal rather than a wet glue with this particular one, because if I'm not careful, I'm going to have glue oozing out everywhere. So I'm only really just put a few dots. And we want that up towards the top there somewhere. You can use these dots are on your paper as a guide to keep everything nice and straight. Put a little bit of pressure on there. Must have a little bit of glue on the back there. This one here, I'm going to glue this straight down onto here. Just lining all of that up. It is beautiful, Nicole. I didn't buy the last one. The last one just didn't appeal to me, but that's just me. But this one, as soon as I saw it, it was like, yes, I have to have it. Haven't quite got that on there where I want it. I think that's a bit better. Give that a little bit of a press down and make sure that's adhered. I'm going to adhere that. I might actually put dimensionals. I was thinking of gluing it straight down, but let's just pop some dimensionals on the back. Now next week I will be back to my normal time. Now I'm just wondering whether I might put a little bit of twine on this. Just put that lid on that glue before it dries out, because we're going to have that one there and this one up here. And we've got a lot of blank space just here, so I'm going to fill that a little bit by adding a bow into there. And I do love using twine over ribbon and things. I don't have the in colour ribbons as yet, so it also gives me a little bit of a grounding for my sentiment. Tying a bow on a live is always interesting, especially when I haven't allowed myself a huge amount of. There we go. Now I'm just going to turn that around and give that a good pull in the direction I want it to go. Still doesn't want to go in the direction I want it to be. Let's just give this another go. I like sometimes to tie my bows upside down because I get a better let's see how we go this time. I don't really want a huge bow, and still not wanting to go in my direction. Come on, little bow, work the way I want it. Well, it doesn't want to go the way I want it to go, but that's just going to have to do because I'm not going to do it again. Just might have to pop something underneath it just to hold that in place. Pulling those apart a little bit. That will do for the moment. Let's pop that onto there. What I might do is pop another dimensional just underneath, and that's just going to, that's a little bit bigger. Pop one underneath there. It's going to stop that from sliding around and just hold that in place a little better. Just line that up. Just doing this by eye, trying to get this in the center. Using those dots to help me. Oops, I still don't think I'm far enough over. You can just go down just a little bit more too. Something must be happening outside. There's a few sirens going. Okay. So it's going to go there like that, and we're going to pop a dimensional behind each one of these. Pop one there because we don't want to cover up our stamping at the back there too much. And our other one is just going to come up just underneath our sentiment. So now let's have a look. Where can we slip some of these? So slip that one there. So I'm using the darker side of this for the moment. Pop that one just in there. And we're just going to build these up a little bit. And that's starting to fill that area down there where we had a lot of that white spot, white space. Let's pop a bit of I tend to work very symmetrically. What I do one side, I do on the other, going in the opposite direction. So I want to fill that area in there up a little bit. Don't know whether I want to add any more leaves. I'm just going to have a little bit of it's a lighter one. Could put a little one in there, just have that sort of pushed in as far as it'll go. Do I have another lighter one here? Just sort of dry fitting these ones that are here at the moment. Don't want to go out too wide past my card base because do actually quite like that. So I think they're going to go in there as well. The other thing you could do is you could very easily trim that and have a third leaf coming. So that one there could probably even get pushed in a little bit further. So push that down. Don't need to put too much glue on there. I want to push that in as far as I can get it. And the same with this one. Is going out a little bit past. I might just trim that down a little bit. Just then I can push that in a bit further. Now I'm wondering whether I might see if I can just pull that out and cut this off, because I didn't like this leaf going across to this one over here because it's about the same sort of colouring. So what I want to try to do is put that up into there. Don't mind that one. Just sort of having a little bit of a... Oops, don't play with my bow. Again, I'm just going to trim that one down. I know this is going to be a dark on dark. Glue, ouch, come. But just want to break that up a little bit and maybe do the same over here. But I am going to have that coming that way. Okay. So let's just move all those little bits and pieces out of the road, get rid of those because they've got glue on them. Now, did I get... Now, they're not the in colours, but I'm just wondering, what's the same pack? I've ended up with 3 packs of those. I wonder how I managed to do that. Don't know whether I don't like that, any of those. Let's just have a look, see what I've got in my stash down here. Just got a loose pearl rolling around in there somewhere. I think I'm actually going to leave it because I don't like any of those colours there with it. And sometimes you're better off not adding something just for the sake of adding it. So I'm going to say that that is my card completed. I hope you've enjoyed my very impromptu live today. So let me just bring this up so you can have a look. But I think they are quite cute. And the only thing I might do is just grab a glue dot. Roll it up into a little ball if I can. Let's just see if we can direct this bow into the position I want it in. I don't think it's going to go very well. Sometimes even just tucking that part, that little leg underneath, bringing that in down the bottom, just so then it there we go. That looks a lot better. So we'll just force that into position there a little bit. So anyway, that's my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed that, just having a look at some of those new products. So thank you very much for joining me today. And as I said before, next week I will be back to my normal time slot of 1 o'clock, but today I just have an appointment at 1:30. So, and I really need to be there for it. Now, of course, I haven't put anything on the inside. I will later on probably just do maybe a trim of this this paper, this die cut paper here, and do something with a bit of the blue dots or something inside, on the inside, just to finish that off, because I like to finish off the centres of my cards these days. So thank you very much for joining me and sticking with me this morning. Hello, Lucia. Oh, you can watch the replay, darling. Thank you very much for jumping on and saying hi. So I will see you all later on. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to be getting some cool weather here today or over the weekend. It's pretty windy out there, so yeah, it'll be a great weekend, I think, to spend inside. Hello, Vicky. Thank you. It'll be a great weekend to spend inside crafting. And I got myself the scrapbooking kit the other day, just because I just couldn't resist it with all the bright colours. And really the flowers are very much similar to what's in here, and I'm hoping to actually integrate a lot of what's in this kit to this with these cards and these flowers. So I just got phone photos because I tend to like to work photos up. So but this is a very bright kit, very summery, considering we're in autumn, going through to winter. It'll be fun and bright to play with. So this is what I will be working on hopefully this weekend, and hopefully be able to show you something after that. So take care, have a lovely, lovely weekend, and stay safe. And I'll catch up with you next Friday at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Bye for now.